Today we're going to get started on building a raised bed out of cinder blocks.
You want to start doing this, or you want to get the rest of the dirt out of the bed?
Get the rest of the dirt out.
I wanted this to be the first thing that we got done in the garden this year. That way I could get some root vegetables planted and started up while we get going on the rest of the garden. I knew if we at least had a raised bed in, then it would be guaranteed that I could start my carrots and my beets and whatnot, as where the in-ground garden soil is too compact and hard right now for me to be able to do that. The weed fabric that you see down in the garden is something that we put down last year because I had had some issues with keeping the grass that was previously here from coming up and taking over my garden. And this method worked pretty well for me. I think my only complaint here was that there were little bits of plastic, like there's like this green line that goes down the tarp, and those were starting to break up and get into my garden. So there are little green pieces of tarp all over the garden bed when I pulled this up. So although it worked for killing off the grass, I don't think I would use this as a permanent solution in the garden.
Alright, you want to start laying bricks? We can kind of figure out where exactly we want this.
How many by how many?
3 by 4. 3 this way, 4 this way. I need enough room to be able to get through here and get through here. So I'd say maybe put the first one here. We probably are going to want to level them somewhat. Before you start laying all of them, shouldn't we level this one?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to get me a level and a shovel.
Getting these bricks level was actually a bit more difficult than I thought it would be. I didn't even take into consideration that we would have to level these bricks out when I thought about putting this bed in. So with every brick that we put down, because we did this bed 2 bricks high, every brick that we laid on the first layer, I went around and made sure that they were level both long ways and level on the short end as well, if that makes sense. So I made sure that the bricks were as level as I could get them, and basically what I had to do was take my brick and tip it over from where I wanted to put it, scrape out the dirt where it was too high, and then put the brick back down and kind of just shove dirt in each place to level it out, whether it needed more dirt or less dirt. At one point I did try scraping quite a bit of the dirt up with this flat shovel to get it as level as possible, but that didn't actually work very well because I didn't really know what level was here. So I was essentially just taking giant chunks out that I was eyeballing it essentially, and my eyeballing skills are not that good when it comes to leveling dirt. After a while, we figured out the best method to get these bricks laid level quickly was to take this hand tiller that my father-in-law gave me and just kind of work up the surface of the ground. Not only did it kind of level it out a little bit more evenly, but it also made it to where I had like some loose soil to work with if I needed to pack quite a bit underneath a spot in the brick. And I'm not really sure how long this is going to last us being level. I don't really know if it will settle over time and become unlevel, or if maybe we should have put some gravel down and like maybe dug a trench, put gravel down, and then put our bed down. But I'm not really concerned about it right now. It'll serve its purpose for this season, and they are cinder blocks, so if we need to reset them eventually, then we will. And it's kind of, I'm taking it as a lesson learned along the way situation, because I knew I needed to get this bed in, so we just kind of did what we had to do to get this done in the weekend.
You know, I could always add more bricks on later if I wanted to make it wider.
Yeah, deep and wide.
Deep and wide. There's a mountain flowing. There's a river?
Yeah.
Flowing deep and wide. Deep and wide. That's a Christian song. All of this dirt is going to fill that.
Yes.
Alright. I hope you did your mouth right.
Theoretically, I mean, if not, you'll find a use for it. You always do.
No, I'm worried about not having enough. Not having too much.
Oh, I think that's more than enough, dear.
You're sure? This is the last one going this way, so it's going to be this big. That's a good little bed
55.
for this bed with all the dirt. Do that math for me. 110 bucks?
Yeah.
To cut costs on filling this raised bed, we did alternate putting topsoil in it, which doesn't really have much nutrients, and then we would put a bag of Miracle Grow garden soil on top of that.
Here it is. It's not perfect by any means. It's actually a little bit bowed on this side, but that'll just encourage me to expand it out eventually anyway. I'd like it to expand all the way out this way. That way I have a small spot for walking for a pathway, but I would eventually like to have a bed basically twice as long as this one is right now. I've got some seeds over here that I want to get started. Probably way more than I can realistically plant here. Got some snap peas, some radishes, some beets, carrots, Swiss chard. Let's see. Some more carrots, snap peas, and some more radishes, a different kind, and some more carrots. So obviously I have a lot of seeds and not enough space for all of these, but we're gonna get some in today. And oh yeah, I also have some seedlings here, cauliflower, romaine lettuce, and some red cabbage that I wanted to put in there just to experiment and see how much better these might do in a raised bed than just out here in the clay type soil that we have. That'll work. And of course I left my gardening gloves and my spade in the truck, so we're just gonna dig with our hands. The carrots have to have something covering them up when we plant them, just to kind of keep them from blowing away or getting disheveled if it rained or anything like that. So I'm actually going to use these old metal pieces of a garden bed that I bought that didn't work very well. It fell apart pretty easily, and I'm just going to use those to cover up our carrot seedlings until they start sprouting. Ideally, I won't water this again until they sprout to make sure that they're rooted in the ground, so I want to get this as soaked as I can. Do some rainbow carrots next. Next I'll do some St. Valerie carrot. Let's see. We'll do cosmic purple after that. So we'll do the St. Valerie and cosmic purple, and that'll be it for our carrots. There we go. Now I'll come out and check these probably every day, but it'll take a good probably week before they are all germinated and ready for this to come off. I think I'll leave the Swiss chard for the green stalk, or just start some seedlings and plant it out in here. And I think it would be a better use of this bed to get some sugar snap peas started and some beets and radishes. So that's what we'll do with the last part of the bed. I think I will maybe even plant some peas along this whole side and that side, and we can put a trellis up later to kind of let the peas vine up
And then in the middle I'll just do some radishes and beets. It would be neat to plant the peas in these holes, but we didn't have enough dirt for that today, so maybe I'll add some dirt later and start some. And, well, it'll probably be too warm soon to start peas again, but maybe in the fall we'll try that. This says to plant after danger of last frost. I guess I got another couple weeks before I can plant that one. We'll just do quite a bit of beets then. I'll leave a patch open here for some radishes. Ooh, those look gnarly. Never grown beets before. I didn't know their seeds looked quite that gnarly. I think it's time to go inside.